Hello everyone. While I'm waiting for my kids from their classes, that's why I'm in the car, I decided to share my testimony with you. So if you know, this account was all about my traveling, but I didn't do it for a long time because I do it on Instagram. I decided to switch this account to my spiritual journey, and I would like to share everything what I'm going through with you, and I'm hoping that it would be inspiration for someone, or you can help me with something by some advices or just inspirational words. You will send it to me, and kind of we will help each other. So, and to start it, I would love to share my testimony with you. So, my journey actually started from where. So, I was born in a Christian family, big family. So, my father was a pastor. I knew Bible from the beginning. So, the parents prayed and read, and we would go to church. And of course, I knew everything. So, when I was 12, I prayed to God, and when I was 14, I was baptized. But after that, I still had a lot of questions. I still had a lot of doubts, and I was kind of afraid to ask my parents because I didn't want to disappoint them in my beliefs, and I was just asking questions to God because I wasn't sure if I believe just because my parents told me, or I truly believe in God. So, and I started asking questions like to God, and I said, God, if you exist, just please show me that you exist, and that I, I'm not kind of wasting my time, like I'm young, and I need to figure out like what life to choose, where to be, because we grew up kind of conservative church. We couldn't dance, couldn't go anywhere, and for me it was big temptation, and that's why I ask questions like, God, do you really exist? Uh, because I want to know if I dedicate my life, what I dedicate for, and I prayed to God. And when I was 18, I moved to Ukraine from Russia, and I went to church there, and we went to soldiers prison, I don't know the name of it, to share the gospel. And there, after the service, the soldiers would come and ask you questions. So, and there were three guys who came to me and started asking questions like, okay, why you're not allowed to dance? And I start kind of explain my belief in that. And at the same time, I had the same question in my head. I'm like, I don't have exact answer to this. I'm not sure exactly, because be honestly, at that point I didn't study the Bible. So I knew Bible from, like, from the house, the father would share in the gospel, or we studied at Sunday school some verses, but I didn't study the Bible. I didn't read it like I should kind of read it. So all my knowledge about what I allowed and not allowed was kind of from the church. And when they asked the question like why you can't dance, I couldn't find the answer to this kind of for myself. I'm like, okay, because if you are young, not married, you can't be like too close to the opposite sex, something like this. But that answer, of course, wasn't enough for them. So the next question was why you can drink, and I immediately answered because the alcoholics won't go to heaven, and it's in the Bible. And they said, okay, if I'm not alcoholic, I just drink just a little bit, wine. And it was kind of the same. I'm like, I don't know. I have the same question why we can drink just a little bit, wine. So they asked me another question. I don't remember exactly which one. And it was kind of the same. I couldn't give the clear, answer that would show that I understand my beliefs, kind of my point of view, and it would be kind of make sense. So after that, they just look at me and said, "Why you're here? You don't know anything." So and they just turn around and walk away. And after that, I was sitting in the car on my way back home, and I was super angry on God because I'm like, God, I asked you, I prayed to you, and you didn't help me. I asked you to give me answers, kind of like in my head. And so I came home, I locked the door, and I become more and more angry to God. I'm like, God, you kind of like, it's not fair. You throw me kind of in the ocean and said, if you want to be alive, just swim. And I don't know how to swim. And I was talking and talking, kind of all my anger to him. And at some point, I heard first time in my life kind of quiet voice, and I knew it was God. And he said, why should I? And it's kind of like shocked me. I'm like, what do you mean, why should I? Like, I believe in you. I believed all my life in you. And of course you should kind of help me to answer. Especially I went to the ministry, to help people, to share about you. And you didn't answer. And he said, you live all your life without me, without kind of letting me in. So you used me whenever you need, just pray. About the rest of life, you lived, you planned, you never rely on me in any day, every moment of your life. And at that point, it just hit me, and I started crying because I realized that it's true. The whole my life, I tried by myself to live kind of, good life, Christian life, and be example kind of, but it was impossible. So I struggled a lot. I had so many doubts, and so at that point I came and I started just crying and asked God about forgiveness and to show me the way. What should I do after that? To kind of, how can I live this life you want me to live? So I prayed this prayer, went to sleep. I woke up early in the morning. I don't remember it. I think it was 6 a.m. by myself. At that, it kind of usually I would wake up at 10, and I have the huge desire to read the Bible. I opened Bible and I start reading. I have this desire to study it, not just read, but study. Like, is it true what people or church or culture, whatever it is, would say you, what you can do and what you can't. I start kind of looking what Jesus say about it, like what he is teaching us about the same, like drink wine, alcohol, or dance, or whatever it is. So from that moment, my life changed completely. So God showed me one verse that always was in my head, kind of like that he is a truth, and if I know the truth will make me free. And I understood that truth is Jesus, and I need to know Jesus, that only he would make me free from everything, like. And that was my start. That was my beginning of this kind of journey, spiritual journey, to follow Jesus, like to study about him, to learn about him, open the Bible and see who he is. And it helped me a lot in my spiritual life, and not just spiritual, just everyday life, because sometimes you do something and people judged you, culture judged you, like so many things, and you kind of, it's good to feel that he is not judging you. The same way I think all people try to find who they are, and I would say it's impossible without Jesus, without God, because he created me, and I struggle many times, like to find who I am, to fit in. I wanted to fit in with the people at school, everywhere I'm going, at church, and I struggled because I didn't know who I am, and I still go in this kind of journey with God to find who I am, what is my strength, what He put me, what kind of character, for what reason, because I know He has a reason for everybody, right? So He created the person not just to live on this earth, but each person has a purpose. And He decided what day, what year the person would born, that we all connected, we all write the history, we were created for something that God want us to do, and all the people that I met, they played some role in my life. Even people who hurt me, they still played a huge role in my life, because of this hurt, I would think I would be close to God to find the answers, to find the comfort, to cry out to Him, because it hurts inside. And especially if you thought you're doing these people kind of good, you wanted your best, you're doing best, and people just turn back and hurt you in some way. And at that point, it just brings you closer to God. It just telling everything to God, and God just opening up something in you, and you find something better. So at that point, you understand that each person plays huge role, and that's why we need to know who we are in like who God created us to be. And this journey still continue, because I know I have a lot kind of to work on in my life, and that's why I decided to do this with you guys, to that we can do it together, and maybe somebody struggle too. So, and maybe some of my experience would help somebody, and maybe one person, and I still would be glad, because I know some testimonies of other people helped me a lot. So that's it. This is my kind of first video, and I wanted to introduce who I am and where I start from. Blessings.